Oh. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Gear.Locker, and it's Mg4 time. Down the road! Now, this is no typical Airsoft Mg4 review. Here, we're going to talk about my feelings as an impressionist, my experience with it, and the upgrades that have gone into it. And if you want to see some really cool gameplay, stick to the end. The Elite Force Mg4 is not new to the market, but it is a new style of LMG that was introduced. Nobody has made an Mg4 before. And as you can see, they nailed a ton of the details on this replica. From the iconic hand grip and stock to the relatively accurate markings on the side, this is a beautiful replica. And what made the VFC Mg4 stand out is its internal feeding system. In addition to being able to use a box magazine, which was included with the package, you could also use a 900 round internal reservoir. And while this was an innovative idea, as you'll see in my opinions later, it definitely has some flaws. Now let's talk about some of the features. As you can see, we have a very long outer barrel with an inner barrel to match. We have a folding bipod that not only conceals underneath, but it is extendable. We have two rail segments on the side and a folding grip. The folding front sight and rear sight are relatively high quality, and the body is a strong aluminum. The top cover is aluminum, and as you open it up, you reveal your internal magazine. And in addition to this, you can put your box mag hooked onto the side or a real sack like the one I have here. Pulling the charging handle back does nothing functionally except expose some of the wiring underneath the gun. Now let's take a look at how I have it set up here. I have my LLM-01. This is my Airsoft replica with the pressure pad on the opposite side. I have my Evolution Gear EXPS combo with the EXPS3 and the flip to side G33 magnifier. I have done a Schlammkreide paint job. I made it to look a little bit more worn than if it were new, so it kind of has that field used look. And instead of using the box magazine, I opt to use a real nutsack. Now I haven't fit any internals into here to feed into the Mg4, although that is a plan later, but instead I use just a random bag of BBs that I have stored in here so I can reload really easily when I need to using the internal reservoir, which, let's get to that. This reservoir is unique. It holds 900 rounds up here and feeds into this handguard area down here. What's so interesting about it is that it's not necessarily gravity fed, although it does use gravity to move from reservoir to reservoir. To feed it into the hop-up chamber, it uses a second motor in the gearbox. It has a small gear that turns a sort of loading mechanism, pushing the BBs up into the hop-up, which, as you can imagine, is definitely over-engineered. When I went to use this for gameplay, that is the one issue I had. About 6 hours into gameplay, my gun completely stopped feeding. I tried the box mag, I tried the internal reservoir, nothing seemed to work. On a jamming rod down the barrel, did absolutely nothing, and I was pretty much out for the day because I had to fully disassemble this thing to clear a lodged BB inside that chamber where it would feed up into the hop-up. Now that being said, it wasn't necessarily difficult to do once I got it home, but it was a challenge that I couldn't exactly do right on the field because it involved some small screws and obnoxious parts. In addition to having an issue with the feeding system, I also dislike a couple other parts of this replica. Number one, how light it is. And I know for an LMG, you're expecting heavy, so having a light replica like this is very nice to actually use on the field. But I was able to one-hand this thing at times. It's roughly 10 pounds without any equipment on it, so it's a very lightweight replica, and good and bad, but I prefer something that may feel a little bit beefier. Maybe instead of using 100% aluminum parts, include some steel parts, which I understand would raise the cost from an already astronomical $1,200 to $1,300, but I feel like a replica that's as unique as this deserves some of that quality put into it. And another point is the orange tip. As you can see, I painted mine black and there's still some orange showing through after a day of use. It is a very nice flash hider and accurate to the Mg4, but there's a small pin that's very difficult to get out. In fact, you have to drill it out to be able to just remove the flash hider. So that is something I will be doing down the line, but for now, I'm just gonna have to keep touching up the paint on it because it's pretty hard to remove otherwise. But aside from those few things, I honestly really like it. It shoots really well, it feels relatively decent in the hand, albeit I wish some more weight, but the ergonomics and simplicity of use for this Mg4 is really nice. The stock FPS of this replica is about 350 FPS from what I've seen online, and its range is relatively decent, pushing you out to 150 feet with relative accuracy by volume. This replica outperformed that by almost every metric, and that's because internally, it is 0% stock. Inside the gearbox, the previous owner installed a Warhead brushless motor, which gave this thing not only an excellent trigger response, but a very consistent and respectable rate of fire, which we'll see later. He also included a max cylinder with Bonex head, an upgraded piston, and Siege Tech gears. The hot butt bucking, I believe, is a Maple Leaf Macron, which performed beautifully, getting this to shoot easily 180 to 200 feet with, again, a large man-sized spread of BBs. So let's take a look at how this thing performs. Alrighty, so here we go. As you can see, we're using 0.3 gram BBs, and let's check out the FPS. So while you can see some really low FPSs there, we're averaging about 310 to 315 FPS with a 0.3 gram BB. And now let's check out that rate of fire. As you can see, we're hitting around 20 rounds per second, which for an LMG, that's very respectable. But with that being said, let's take a look at my loadout and some of the gameplay with this beautiful MG4.
You love what you do, you never worked a day in your life, buddy. Let's get in, get in. Get our guys to the right. Infill, infill. Push in, push in. Got him, Steve? I don't know. I think probably bullfrog. Yeah, probably. Coming. We're gonna go hit this, and we're gonna encourage these guys to get into fire base from this side. Now. Be careful, no, they're too far out. Brayless, if we could do that, I bet we can get there now. Yeah. I'm just worried about the right side. Do it. Go, go, go. We take as many guys that want to go. Go up the road? Yeah. Go for it. Do it. The road. Hit. Pushing the woods that way. Loading. Yeah. Okay. Take it building by building in front of us. We got to cover this section. Hey, yo, Gilly, watch out. I'm shooting above you guys. Oh, we should be on full out. You're moving good. Hey, you guys, follow him. Get in this way, stay on the high ground. Push it. Second squad, let's go. Get some fire on there, let's move with him. Keep going, go past him. Go, go, go. It's just sound effects at this point. It's just sound effects now. Let's go! They're all out there. I gotta get this thing to feed. This is annoying.
So that's gonna round this review and overview out. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you wanna see more MG4 gameplay, let me know. That's something that I would absolutely love to do because of how much fun I had using this gun. As long as I can get it working consistently and without any jams, I would love to show you guys more of this. Let me know in the comments below. This is The.Gear.Locker. Support your support gunners, and we'll see you out there.